Hello, welcome to this lecture on algorithms, flowcharts, and pseudocode. So what are we going to see today is about algorithms, flowcharts, and pseudocode. So in this lecture, we'll see about an algorithm, characteristics, and how to write a few examples. In the problem solving approach, algorithm plays an important role. So algorithm can also be represented, or a solution to a problem can also be represented using flowcharts and pseudocode as well. So today we'll study about all these three things in problem solving. What is an algorithm? Algorithm is a collection of sequential steps which when executed performs a given task. It's a step-by-step approach for solving a given problem. What is its significance? It's very important for computer programmers because it provides a blueprint for writing programs. Algorithm is usually written in English-like language and has a few characteristics or properties. The properties of algorithm are input, output, definiteness, finiteness, and effectiveness. Input. Any algorithm is expected to take 0 or more inputs. It should be providing at least one output. Definite implies the instruction should be clear and should not have any confusion or should be unambiguous. Finiteness implies any algorithm should terminate after a finite or countable number of steps. And effectiveness implies every instruction must be basic that should be able to be solved by a pen and a paper. Then, what is the general approach followed to solve an algorithm? You have to start an algorithm, consider the inputs, have the computational steps, produce the output, and then terminate the process. How do you write an algorithm? For example, let us consider a question, sum and average of three given numbers. So in the program, step 1 is start. Because we are asked three numbers, read ABC. Step 2. Step 3, compute the sum, which is equal to A plus B plus C. Step 4, find out the average or compute the average, the sum by 3, and print sum and average and stop the process. So this is an example which we can see. Let's go to the next example. How do you find out bigger of two numbers? So the operator that we use is greater than. So if A greater than B, two inputs. Step 1, start. Step 2, read A and B. Step 3, if A is greater than B, go to step 4, otherwise go to step 5. In step 4 implies A is biggest, and step 6, B is largest. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of an algorithm? Algorithm generally has its own merits because it acts as a blueprint for any problem solving. It acts as a plan so that we can go ahead in developing a program. It is a technique that is easily understood. It's easy to write the logic, and with algorithm we can also, it becomes easy to debug a code. Whereas the demerits include it's time consuming, difficult to code for lengthy problems, and big tasks become really cumbersome to write algorithms for. So now in the next part of the lesson, we learn about flowcharts and its significance and a few examples. So what is a flowchart? Flowchart is an algorithm. Flowchart in comparison with an algorithm is a pictorial or a graphical representation of a solution to a problem. So the diagrammatic or graphical or pictorial representation in which you solve a given problem is known as a flowchart. Flowchart basically uses a few symbols to represent a particular process. So the symbols used in a flowchart are oval for starting and stopping the process, or round rectangle can also be used, parallelogram for input and output, rectangle for processing, rhombus for decision making, and flow lines to indicate the flow, circle for connecting, and a few many more hybrid symbols. So this is an example where we see the flow chart for swapping two numbers. So there are two numbers n1 and n2 and a temporary variable called temp to help us to swap these two numbers. So read the two numbers, reading is parallelogram, then in the processing, give n1 to temp, and because n1 is empty, assign n2 to n1, and in the place of n2, assign temp. So again, print n1 and n2, and that's how you swap the two numbers. So then this is a flowchart where we are trying to find out the largest of three numbers, A, B, and C. Given three numbers A, B, and C, you got to read them and then check out. The general approach would be decision making. A constant decision makings will help us to decide which is bigger among A, B, or C. So decision making involves rhombus. First check for A greater than B. If that is true, proceed to check the bigger one, that is A, with the other element C. If that is false, proceed to check out the bigger one, B, with C. Out of B and C, either B may be bigger or C may be bigger. Out of A and C, either A may be bigger or C may be bigger. Ultimately, print either A or B or C and then stop the process or terminate the process. So what are all the merits and demerits of flowchart? As we all know, flowchart is pictorial, so it catches eyes, it gives a lot of visual clarity, it maintains a lot of proper documentation. Flowcharts can be visually appealing. We can learn quickly from a flowchart. It involves a lot of logical steps. It looks simple and short. More communication in a given short image kind of formula. Whereas the demerits are not suitable when the solution is large, because you can't keep on writing large flowcharts. Complicate things, difficult to alter, time taking, cannot be difficult to draw flowcharts with pen and paper. It involves repeated modifications, etc. So these are the demerits of flowcharts. So owing to this demerits, people always prefer flowcharts for small problems. Let's move ahead and see that in the next part of this video, what is called pseudocode and the significance and how do we write few pseudocodes. So what is pseudocode? Pseudo, as the name says clearly, is something imaginary, something vague. So code is instruction. So writing some imaginary or vague code kind of instructions can be known as can be termed as pseudocode. So pseudocode is a simple and concise sequence of English-like instructions to solve a problem. Pseudocode is text-based detail algorithmic tool. So pseudocode is often used as a way to describe a computer program to someone who does not understand a program on a computer. While learning a program, it's important to write pseudocode because it helps you to clearly understand the problem that you're trying to solve. It also helps us to, getting bogged down with syntax details. You need not worry much about the programming details, but still you can try to write a solution to a problem using a pseudocode. So pseudocode has a few restrictions. You got to indent all that particular while, do, while, for, if, etc. In case if you're using in your code, it uses structural conventions, unlike normal programming language. It is maintained for humans rather than machines. Pseudocode is not meant for machine to understand. It is meant for humans to understand. So significance of pseudocode. Pseudocode fits more easily on a small paper. Pseudocode can be written in a way which is very close to real programming. Pseudocode will vary according to whoever write it because it is not much structured. So let's take up a simple example. What does pseudocode mean to all of us? So start a program. We are trying to determine if a student is passed or failed. So input the grade. You're reading the grade of the student. If student's grade is greater than 60, print passed, else print failed. End your if and then end the program. So let's move to the next problem, computing the area of a rectangle. To compute the area of a rectangle, we all know that we need two inputs, L and W. L stands for length and W stands for width. So get length and L and W. You can also write get or put, or you can also write input, output. You can also write read and print. So get L and W, compute area is equal to L into W, display the area and end your program or end your process. So any method has got its own set of merits and demerits. So let's look into the merits and demerits of this pseudocode. Pseudocode improves the readability. It acts as a bridge between the program and the algorithm. It makes a code construction phase easier. Pseudocode does not tend to run over many pages. It fits in a small page. It can be easily modified compared to a flowchart, and it can be written, read, and understood easily comparatively. Converting a pseudocode to programming language is pretty easy. So that's why many of the programmers prefer writing pseudocodes than their equivalent flowcharts. So demerits. The demerits include, it does not include entire logic. Pseudocode sometimes allows the non-programmers to misunderstood the complexity of the program. Lack of standards makes anybody write pseudocode in many different standards. Pseudocode is not visual, it is more textual. So therefore it's not that appealing as that of a flowchart. And there is a possibility of introducing errors into the syntaxes while we are translating the code, because pseudocode usually does not have a structure. So dear students, I recommend you to take a pen and a paper and try to design an algorithm, flowchart, and a pseudocode for the following questions all by yourself to see what is your understanding of this topic. The questions include smallest of three numbers, area and circumference of a circle, to find the area and perimeter of a rectangle, and to determine whether a number is prime or not. So on that note, it's thank you.